Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ask Better Questions, the podcast where we delve into the nuances of leadership and personal development. I'm your host, Peter, and today we're going to talk about saying no, why the word is so important, and how you can get comfortable saying no. For those of you who are new here, I'm Peter Adams. I have over 20 years experience in leadership and consulting. I'm a published author and a speaker in the leadership space, and my mission is to help excellent leaders become exceptional leaders through a better mindset. But before we start today's episode, I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Colour4 Solution. Colour4 Solutions offers leadership training for people who have reached a ceiling in their leadership journey and want to achieve more without dedicating substantial time and effort. So I want to start today's episode by talking about the burning of the boats. The story of the burning of the boats originates from the conquest of the Aztec Empire by the Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés in the early 16th century. So casting your mind back, here's a quick history lesson. As the legend goes, Cortés and his men arrived in Mexico in around 1519 with the goal of conquering the powerful Aztec Empire and claiming its riches for Spain. However, upon reaching the shores of Mexico, Cortés faced a significant challenge. His men were filled with fear and uncertainty about the daunting task ahead of them. Others had tried to claim the Aztec Empire and had failed miserably. So realizing that retreat would only lead to failure, Cortés took decisive action. He ordered his men to burn their ships, effectively eliminating the option of retreat. With their only means of escape gone, Cortés made it clear that they had no choice but to press forward to achieve victory. This bold and calculated move had a profound psychological impact on Cortés's men. With no possibility of retreat, they were forced to fully commit to the conquest ahead, knowing that the only option was to succeed or perish. Their act of burning the boats symbolized a complete dedication to the mission, leaving no room for doubt or hesitation. Driven by the newfound determination and resolve, Cortés and his men went on to achieve what was once thought impossible, the defeat of the Aztec Empire and eventual colonization of Mexico by the Spanish. The story of burning the boats has since become a powerful metaphor for commitment, determination, and unwavering resolve in the face of adversity. It serves as a reminder that sometimes, in order to achieve great success, one must be willing to let go of the safety nets and fully commit to the journey ahead, no matter how challenging it may be. Now this, friends, is what we are here to discuss today. I can think of no better way of explaining why no is critical to success. No is what you tell people when you are excluding other options. In the past weeks, Google fired a number of employees. I think it was 30, maybe 50 employees that participated in a sit-in of the CEO's office. Now, I am far from against political activism, perhaps not on company time, but I'm against hypocrisy. My view is quit and be an activist, or don't quit and work to change hearts and minds inside an organization, but don't white-hand it. But don't take the money and then disrupt not just your peers, but also the CEO. Oddly enough, some people haven't yet learnt that that never ends well, but then I expect no less from people that haven't heard no a great deal in their life. What is interesting is, at Google at least, political activism is not new. Having it directly affect the CEO is kind of new. Anyway, furthermore, Google has a long-standing agreement with Israel, and that is not something new. So whatever you think about Israel, Google has made a decision to provide services to them. As management revolves around the allocation of scarce resources, when they are applied to a client, they can't be also allocated to different projects. So the protesters have a point. They could go off and find other clients. But that is not something that you should then disrupt the entire organization to achieve. So saying yes to a project, in essence, is effectively saying no to a number of other projects. It's all part of decision-making. Now, I believe a number of former Google employees and people outside of Google have now become intricately aware that Google is comfortable with their decision to support Israel, and make of that what you will. So why then is it so important to say no? Now, as a leader, saying no helps prioritize tasks and initiatives. It allows leaders to focus on activities that align with organizational goals. If something comes to a leader and it doesn't align with the organization's goals, then saying no is easy. But if it kind of aligns, if it's sort of half there, then it can be more difficult. But saying no also prevents overcommitment and burnout amongst leaders and team members. Saying yes to everything will mean that your resources don't stretch far enough. You'll never finish anything and you'll continue to keep saying yes to things. It won't help. And that leads me to my next point. You can't allocate resources efficiently if you're not avoiding unnecessary projects. So leaders who say no set clear boundaries and expectations of the team. It communicates the organization's values and strategic priorities. In this instance of Google, the employees that remain at Google now will understand exactly where Google's priorities lie. They have made their commitment very clear, and they have said to employees, you turn up to work, you do your job, you do not disrupt the CEO or your peers. But if you want to make a stand over Israel, you are welcome to leave the organization. Now, saying no enables leaders to make informed decisions about risk management. So saying no is a way of saying we are not prepared to accommodate that level of risk in our organization. And it fosters a culture of accountability and ownership within the team, because saying no to harebrained schemes or even great ideas that you do not have the resources for at the moment is something that a lot of companies have to start doing, especially during times when they're trying to grow as much as they can. So it does prevent distractions and keeping the team focused, but saying no also encourages creativity and innovation by channeling all of your efforts into meaningful projects that align with the company goals. You want to promote effective time management and productivity, and without the word no, that can't be done. So additionally, you inspire confidence when you exclude other options. When you burn the boats, people understand you are 100% committed, and it builds confidence and trust in teams. Having said that, saying no also, it encourages open communication and honesty within organizations. It will help you, both leaders and employees, maintain control over workloads and priorities. And saying no enables leaders to gracefully decline opportunities that don't align with vision. So you need to be in organizations that allow you to say no gracefully, that allow you to limit and exclude things from your plate. You won't be able to avoid mission drift and other things that basically distract from core objectives without the word no. But leaders who say no demonstrate respect for their own time and that of other people, and ultimately it will lead to more effective and impactful leadership. So how do we learn to say no? Well, we become practiced at decision making. Saying yes to things by default, as discussed earlier, means saying no to a lot of other things. So when we commit to our goals and directions, we become practiced at saying no. I also want to note here that having the ability and the practiced ability to say no may demonstrate that you have the skill as a leader. However, it does not mean that your decisions are correct. Okay? So good decision making, as it always has been, comes with experience. And experience comes with, as it always has, poor decisions. So practicing your decision making at all levels and learning how to make good decisions with limited information is how leaders are born. So this is where today's episode of Ask Better Questions will end. We are finishing it here. I hope you found these insights valuable and actionable. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, like and subscribe, but more importantly, share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this. And I'll be back next week. Until then, keep asking better questions, and remember, leadership is not about having all the answers, it's about asking the right questions. Take care. I'll see you back here next week.